continue with that story. The ANC this morning paid tribute to Jessie Duarte at Luthuli House in Johannesburg, and our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila was at that ANC event, and he joins us now live to give us more details. Aviwe, obviously this was actually about the policy discussions, but after what the ANC went through yesterday, or the news that they received about its DSG passing away, I'm sure that took a lot of the time. Just tell us what some of the leaders had to say about the DSG.
It took precedent, Maseko, as it started, of course, in a somber mood, as the leadership of the African National Congress was giving tribute to Mama Jessie Duarte. In fact, it started with Mama Baleka Mbete reading a poem describing her totem as that of a bear. Of course, that follows the passing of Jessie Duarte, the DSG of the ANC, serving in the liberation struggle from just the ages of 15, passing away at the age of 68. In fact, I want to bring in two of some of the longest serving women in the African National Congress. That's Mama Baleka Mbete as well as Lindiwe Zulu. Thank you for joining us at eNCA, but I want to reflect and start with you, Mama, on the poem that you read earlier, starting us off here. Maybe some of your thoughts as you were writing that poem and what Mama Jessie Duarte meant to you.
I think what was uppermost this morning when I came here, I actually decided when I got to the garage that I was bringing the poem in, because I thought this is a little known part of who Jessie was. Jessie was many things. She was such an exuberant ball of energy and human being who cared about others. So I thought, let me bring this poem, which was inspired by herself, because the question of her totem being a bear is actually in a message she sent to us at the end of June, just the end of last month. She says, my totem is a bear. So as I unbelievably was sitting around my breakfast table and looking outside, I was thinking, my totem is a bear, and a poem just came, welled up in me, and I had to put it on paper, and it's the poem that I read, because it was a message conveying something. But it's only as time unfolds with your poetic juices, then the meanings come through and the poem was born.
That poem talks, of course, the strength, courage, as well as the protection that she'd have, given that her totem was a bear. But maybe take us to your personal relationship with Ma Jessie Duarte and the type of leader that she was.
Jessie was your visionary leader, and in fact, these thoughts are coming with hindsight, because also we each started looking back at messages she had been sending from her sick bed. She was not resting. She was still very active in her mind, in her soul, in her brain, figuring out different things and engaging with different situations and what was going on. And I think as time goes, we will unpack that, and each individual will share what they saw, what they understood. I also understood a few things from a number of those messages that I've been reading for the past 24 hours. She was a great South African.
Hopefully those messages will be shared in time. But I also want to bring in Minister Zulu to this discussion. Mama, thank you for joining us at eNCA. In your speech, thank you, Ma'am. In your speech that you gave a bit earlier on, you spoke of not only her as a liberation struggle icon, but the work that she did in democratic South Africa, in building the new South Africa that we have. Maybe do give us those details for the benefit of our viewers.
Yes, I take that back from the time that when those of us who were in exile came back, and Comrade Jessie Duarte at the time, we were the women's section. Then Comrade Jessie Duarte and the likes of Nomvula Mokonyane, Masisulu and Mamwini Matikizela Mandela were the people who were in the forefront of introducing us now back home to the environment of struggle at home. Not that we were not in touch as we were outside, but there was a difference being outside and being inside here. And so Comrade Jessie was among those leaders of women who I feel I learned a lot from her. She was a no-nonsense person. If you came with your document and you needed to make presentations, you needed to have gone back and read in the history and make sure that all your facts are right. That's what I know of Comrade Jessie. As way back also after 1994, when South Africa became free, I know that we were together. I remember that we were together in the provincial legislature of Gauteng before I left the Gauteng legislature to go and be in the Department of Foreign Affairs then. So I've journeyed with Comrade Jessie from the time pre-1994, during the entire period of 1994 up to today. Jessie was able to handle both pressures, the pressure within the African National Congress and the transformation of the ANC itself, but also the pressure in government, and that is of building institutions of government. Because at some point when I was the advisor to former President Zuma on international relations, Comrade Jessie was also at the Union Building at the same time before she came back to Luthuli House. And therefore, even there, she was very clear about one thing. We are here to make sure that we build a new South Africa, a democratic South Africa, a non-racial South Africa, and a South Africa that is conducive for everyone. And one of the issues that she didn't like very much was this thing of always referring to colored people, and she really felt the pain of always being described that way. And she was saying to us, we are all South Africans. As soon as we can be able to get rid of that and look at ourselves from just being South Africans. But also she was very strong in terms of issues of women and women empowerment. She was strong in fighting for the emancipation of women in general, particularly focusing on poverty. And she was also very strong in saying that women need to be in leadership positions so that they can influence the policies within the ANC, but also influence the policies within government. So I stand here pained, obviously, but I decided also, as we decided with the Department of Information and Publicity, that we are in pain, but Comrade Jessie, we know, would have wanted us to come here and do the work because the policy conference is still coming.
All right, thank you very much. We're just out of time. That's Minister Lindiwe Zulu reflecting on some of her journey with the late stalwart Jessie Duarte, of course, starting a liberation struggle at the age of 15 only, and we do understand there'll be that national memorial service this coming Thursday.
Right, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila live for us at Luthuli House in Johannesburg.